Yeah, I'm sure we all are parents and grandparents in the group. So again, not only to pass on the information, but also to help our own family, kids in our own families would be a great help too. So I started the recording because we don't want to miss this if we are addressing the children and adolescents and their mental health. But I will stop at the end of the session when we are ready for the discussion, question and answer. So thank you, Manisha ji, and thank you, everybody. So all yours, Manisha ji. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Right. So last time when I was with you all people, we were talking about old age, their behavior, how to take care of them, how to look after them, and how to come up with the depressive conditions, various depressive conditions, and to give them a general support, which is not the medications, but it is the general without any medications as a normal. How can we bring them out of the depression and depressive conditions and situations, circumstances, which was very informative even for the carers as well, because all the way, basically, it's a carers, they are also important for all these reasons. Now, today, I would rather take over with the depressions in the young and in the children. The young generation, basically, they are the link between the old age and the children. So, the depressive conditions in this age is very, very, it's a different way of behavior, and there are different situations, circumstances that they do feel depressed. They are the grown up, and that age is such where they have got a lot of things to put forward ahead in the life, and they have left a little big or a lot behind their life. So they are at the middle. And these depressive conditions are because of so many reasons that we people are facing, the young generation and the children are facing. So, see, it's a it's a different stage that they are having these kind of a situations. The first one, any of the young generation, they have must have fallen into one or the other habits because of because of the family or surroundings or so, and they have got long-term problems. So let's start with the young generation or the children. We'll take first, and then how it enhances, how it moves ahead. Because believe these, every elder person that are meeting today, they are teenagers are the biggest, and they are always keep on nagging and complaining. Oh, they are like that. They are like that. But you don't understand. These children, they are the growing up. They don't understand about the world scenarios, situations, but they have got a long way of a life to go ahead. And they have to cope up with that. So, what are the reasons for them? And the young generation, they have got standing problems with them. So, I would rather take the first is a young, then I will go step back with the children so we can connect that with the young. And then that we will enhance it further ahead. Now, this is what I'm going to talk in the young generation is affecting everyone. Most of the young generation in this country, in the Western world, in the world, nowadays are connected with this. The depression in the young generation is with the, first of all, lot of sociological, physiological, surroundings, and external problems. First of all, this is the major thing, and that is why this is ending up from the stress to anxiety, anxiety to depression. They are they have got the young generation have got a lot of responsibility. Well, it's not that. In the olden time, the old generation never had it. But these children, these young people, they have in their way, their development, their social situations and surroundings are different, and they have to stand true to that. They cannot put themselves as a dull and dumb person. And secondly, the myths that has been lacking and this been carried forward with us. The myths means certain all suspicious, superstitious thoughts and the mentality which is still being carried on. Second, that's a one thing. Number two is the habits. If they fall into some of the habits of alcohol, or if they have gone ahead with to that, or they are in such profession where they have started taking a lot of cup of teas or a lot of cup of coffees, and they are just neglecting so many things, and that is because of the profession or where they are in the surroundings. Number three is the cigarettes and the smoking. Number four, if they have got a inherited depressive condition, or they have got a inherited anxiety condition. So many things are there in the young generation. So let's take one after the other conditions. One is take up as the sociological and physiological. Physio means what? Physio means surroundings. Physio means environment. Physio means where you are living and where you are connected, the circle that you are connected with, where your atmosphere, your working condition, your weather-wise situation, clothing-wise situation, that's called as an environment. And that is your physiology. Physiology connects a lot of things. Your natural, external nature, where you have got a warm weather more or a cold weather more, or you are in the country where it's a poor country, or whether it is a rich country, or whether it is too forward country, or you are in such kind of the place, or you are living in such place where there is a lot of surround people who believe in lot of superstitious thoughts. These are all your physiological, or they believe a lot of parties and these and that. So these are all the physiological situations, and that is very very important for a person. Secondly, it's a diet. Diet is also very important. So there are a lot of things which are affecting to the individual, and that physiological situations are putting you all into a depressive condition, or on anxiety condition, or on an aggravation or aggravated condition, which will ultimately result into the situation where you are putting yourself or locking down yourself, or you are undeveloped mentally, physically, in general, that you can compete with the world, and that is why you are in a depressive condition. So think about all those situations and surroundings. And that is the very big thing with the young generation that they are going through. Number two, the socially in the parents. When the parents are together, nowadays, living relationship is very, very common. Nowadays, it's very common to fall in love or say, I love you, and then just finish with it, get lost and get rid of it. That is the situation which is there. But you don't understand that that is affecting someone's health, someone's brain, someone's mind. And that is being carried on with the bad habits, bad problems, bad putting into certain kind of the substance abuse because they want to forget and they are caught into it. So that is a one part. And these young generations are not used to fight this. They are lacking these confidence. So that's the social conditions, which is very, very important in this young generation. And believe we adult, we old generation who have gone through all this, we can support them and we can educate them, we can tell them. In spite of we say that, they won't understand. I'm going to talk to you. How can you do this? How can you reframe this? You can try. And that is not the end story of the life, but they are like that. Why they are so weak? That all the things, and I'm just going to tell you the reasons that they are putting first into the depressive condition, the young generation. Secondly, a stressful position about the studies and all that. When they go out in studies, oh, this is too much, and they want to compete, that I want to show that I'm the best. But the mental situation or the physical situations are not that sufficient enough that they can do it, or they must have not done it and they are working seriously hard for it. So that is why they might be feeling this. So that is one of the situation. So make sure of all these things that surrounding socially and peer stress. Third, it's a family, like a wife is too negligent, or a husband is too negligent, or husband is too much with some other wrong habits or wrong things or a misconduct and all that, or a wife is like that, something or the other. And that is called as abusive condition, which these children, they are grown up, they have seen it right from the birth, so they are putting themselves into non-competitive measures, that yes, I can't compete the word because my parents were this, I had this, that is keep on rotating. Why? Because this is like the depressive condition, or this is like the traumatic effect, stressful, traumatic anxiety, any of these kind of effects which will put them into depressive condition. Secondly, the wife, hey, you are like that, my people were like this, you are like that. Either it's a husband side as well, it's just the same thing, it works on both the way, vice versa, I would rather say that way, so that they have seen it. And a man who is getting married, because at that young age you're married, you're expecting a family too, or you must be having a family, that time you keep on being naggled, then keep on nodding your head every time, which is pulling you back. And that is why you do get a different kind of aggressive situations, or you become aggressive, or you have the anger first of all, and you can't stand with it. So what happens? Either you lock yourself or you become violent. And that is one of the depressive position that is being seen in the young generation. It's a part of it. And there is work pressure. Work pressure is one where you are going for a work, you are beautifully working, you are excellent worker in your time to time keeper, these, that, quite a lot of things are there. But then at one stage, you are being naggled, you are being tortured a lot. Especially nowadays, it will happen more with this young generation. Then they do go into depression, like the type of work that you do. I'm coming across with a lot of people who are looking forward for a help too, like a computer. You're 24/7 with the computer work because you're working from the homes, you don't have to go out For few months, you'll find it better. Oh, fine, fantastic. I'm happy that I'm staying at home. I don't have to run out. I don't have to do anything. But afterwards, you are stuck. You're stuck with the job. Why? You have to go out at 8 o'clock. You are stuck with the work, and you are used to this kind of a thing that it doesn't let you go out. First of all, your work, your pressure, and your desire that, oh, I'm happy with this. This is putting you to so many different depressive situations, loneliness, um, non-talking with anybody, keeping like in as a side, dis- discontinue yourself from the society. When somebody's asking you 10 times, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?" and you answer or you just nod your head. It's like keeping away from the people and putting yourself, but you don't realize, are you doing actually a work or you're doing something? In spite of your head is with the PC, you are with the PC for computers, but your thoughts are different, you are different, and you're getting a work complaints as well. So that is another stressful position. So that's a type of a thing which is there. Number three, in a young at a young age, you are migrating from one country to the another with the family, and it's a new start of a life. You are zero. What you had, you have got nothing. Like I can see the people. I was just attending something and I could see the people when they migrated from Africa, when I can see certain migration happens from some other countries, and they have to start from zero, from the scratch, where they had everything. They have to leave behind. They have to come from there and come here. It's like I can see the people coming and getting married at certain age, at say late age marriage, where you are well settled, well established in some country, you are doing very good. But because of the things that you are married in some other country, you leave everything behind. And just with the bag full, you come back and start supporting your spouse. And but here you find the situation zero. You have to start from scratch, and then your mind is such that where to start, how to start, what to do. Because at that country, at that stage, this country is totally new to you. They are not ready to accept what you have done. They are not, you are also not accept, you are also not prepared. What, how do I do and how will I move forward? So these all the situations are various, that is putting any young generation into, and they make any young generation to fall into a wrong habits, in a wrong company and environment. These are the physiological and environmental situations. Second comes genetical, biological. Biological situations are such where you are you are okay, fine, but you are born as your parents. Parents must be alcoholic, parents must be having some sort of a drug abused, or they are sexually abused, they are traumatically very bad with the situations, or either of them, your ancestor must be like that, or something, that you are carrying some kind of a genetical, that is called as the inherited problem from their relations, and you are not aware about it, but you keep on having it one after the other. When you grow old and you start showing that as the time goes away, like putting on weight or having alcoholic problems, or you keep on showing those kind of a things as you go. That is why this young generation, they fall. like a blood pressure problem, or putting, healthy condition, and people are trying to crack a joke at you, you feel little bit depressed. But it is a heredity. You can't help like that. You are trying to put on a weight, and you are going to put on a weight as it is because you're bearing that fatty gene. This is a biological problem. You are going to have some kind of the bipolaring condition, and that is why you are going to be suicidal, you are going to have a problem. It's a genetic, and it is coming from your parents. You can't get away. So many times it's the parents as well. They are hiding to the children, but they are not making their children to be prepared for all this and how to go away, get away from all this. These all the things are very important, and that is the place. Or suppose you are an adopted child, and you come up and face the society, where society is putting you into a very, very complicated conditions and complicated situations, that society is start society bullying, or a college bullying, or you can say a school bullying, any of that will put you into the situation, or your spouse will put you into the situation, or you are like that. Or suppose you can't give a children, you don't have any problem, you are not impotent, but sometimes these are all the situations which is called as impotent condition has come up with some reasons. There are loads of reasons. It's not present always with the man or man only. It is present with the women only. It is both of them. Either of them can have it, and any of the defects that you have. These are the cases where anyone, any young generation, they are falling into a trouble. Nowadays, another trouble comes is universities. The children, when they go away from home, they are feeling they are flying birds in air. Why they are thinking that way? Because we are so much worried about the society, about our reputation, about our things, that, oh, I am a doctor, so my son should be a doctor. No, let them be what they want. Let them do what they want. If you are a businessman, your son should not come and help you in a business, but your son or your daughter should be to the position that they can remain, they can sustain, they can be independent, and they can be self-sufficient to manage themselves in case of any diversity of the life. That should be the motive. That kind of a superstitious things which has been carried away by a older generation, to say, oh, we are not like that, but at home it's a different. And at that time, this argumentative position is creating a trouble. And that is why the children, they try to keep away, isolated, or away from the parent, or away from the family, or away from all of that. If the wife is to neglect, or a husband, they both are keeping themselves they keeping themselves in a distance because of these kind of a thing. And then, to avoid the argument, to avoid the fights, to avoid and having a wrong impression in the society or the neighborhoods. And that is why these kind of a things are putting themselves into a depressive conditions. So this young generation has got a lot of trouble. Then they must be brought up in the lower grade of the society and too much of a neglect. I will tell you about one or a couple of things. I've come up with some of the people. I just was introduced. This has happened with me again and again. That's why I would like to mention this. I have come up with some people who are very scared to speak in English. It's not them. It's not the fault. It's the place from where they come. They're very, very much scared to speak in English. And that is why they think themselves that the people who are speaking in English is much, much higher. And then I've seen the people who are coming from the Western world, their English, and these people who are talking their English is different. English is a language. The accents are different. It's just a matter of how fluent you are, how you cope up with that language without any fear, how cope up and how you answer them back. You're not inferior, and that inferiority within them is pushing them back. And that's a part of a depression. Or the finance is one part. Oh, you are financially not equipped. You can't do this. Oh, you are, and that is the surroundings which has, you are brought up with that. We are from this, we are like that. It's like we are Americans, we are Chinese, we are British, we are these. That is a name, it's an egoistic position, it's a bullying condition. And that is why that people, they think they are bullied. And that is why they get irritated, they get angry. And at that time, when such kind of a people come, they put an avoidance. It's a kind of a depressive conditions for them. It's a short, but that instead of showing the anger and making a scene in the society, they try to keep themselves away from the society. So make sure one thing, nobody is bad, nobody has got any such sort of a thing. It is you people. Why? Why are you are not inferior to anyone? If you go to the village or you think about villages in Africa, they are villagers. So what? They don't have money. So what? Think the positive side of those people and move forward. think the think the good part of the person and move forward. Don't always see the negative part. Or you must be very highly qualified and the your spouse or your partner is not that. But think the positive part of that. That, oh, my spouse is done from here till here. Is the positivity in him. Don't always think the negative part. And that negativity, when is being picked up every now and then, and the worst is that picked up is fine, but to compare that and to keep on putting them into lower and lower situations, that is the killing for the young generation. These are all the different situations and scenarios that a young generation, they are pushed back into a depressive position. So now, what is a short and what is a long in young? The short depressions are such which comes, you fight and get away with it. Like, as I said, the social situations, you are a migrant, you are depressed for the timing, how to do, how to cope up, what to do, how to move forward. This is your depressive position. Fine, fair enough. Everybody can understand. But but as you, when you came as a migrant, you start looking at the society, you start meeting people, you start sorting out your own problems, and then you move forward. If you have, and you need a support as well. Even if you don't have, you yourself can sustain in this situation. If you are a new, you if you are in a new atmosphere, like a new college or a new job, and of course new job where the people who has got the job from last so many years, they are going to may be helpful, may not be helpful, but slowly you learn people, you understand people, how they are, what are their habits, what are the good, bad, everything. Try to adjust with the atmosphere surroundings. It's the environment. Environment is been built up with the whole surrounding, many people, many every places or a different these things. And you try to adjust with that. That here the person is angry, this needs these, they need like this, they want the time to be keep up in this case. So you people are trying to cope up with these kind of things and carry on. So that is why they are called as a short term. The long term is when you are coming up with the work, you have been tortured, or you have been given a target system and keep on going on with the hammering, stressful position and pressed. You have been suppressed and you have been pressurized with these kind of the targeting system or some kind of a work insufficiency or non-capability or capacity. These kind of a thing happens. This is somewhere you can get away with it. It's like a social one. I would rather put into very simple way. It's a social. Now, certain is a long term, but you can get away with it. The short terms are, as I said, a husband and wife, or the people who are always been a naggly, and they have to understand if they are being given certain conditions or they these short terms, as I gave you multiple reasons for them, for you that you are being mocked because of your physical stuff, hi-fi conditions and all that, financial conditions, these that. No need to be violent at that time. You can sort the things out. When the time comes, leave that kind of atmosphere or keep away from these kind of a people and stay in your life. But all these things can happen. This is a short term. How to do everything? I'm going to take it in one after the other. And what are the symptoms you will face? That also I'm going to take it as my session goes ahead in the young generation. So these are the things which are there. And you will start notifying. You yourself will start noticing your symptoms as it grows. Secondly, your habits, alcohol, smoking, tea, coffee, eating, sleeping, all that changes. And what you are, what a normal case you should be, that free, freedom, breathing, open air, open conditions, like a liberal life that you would not get it, but you would love to, and that you can get it if you are coming out of all these bad habits. But that takes a time, I would rather say. Now the bad habits are such alcohol, substance abuse, all that. In a young generation, they because they are newly married, oh, let's go out with the friends. I'm going out today with these partying. Too many parties. Second is a profession as well. Profession, as I said, you're 24/7 busy with your profession. You are stuck with the PCs and computers and all that. That is a professional hazards. And that is why you are falling into these conditions. So many things are there. And these young generations, they are facing, especially now when we are facing a recession period, the people will be losing a job a lot. The companies are closing down, they're cutting the cost. Secondly, then you know now that you have got this trouble. Start developing yourself. Okay, this has come. Doesn't matter. What happens? One thing has gone, one product has gone, another product has come. So always keep this, that, and this is your brain has to work, move forward. That there has to be an alternative, not like sitting down, because life in a young generation is like a challenge. They have to keep on moving. The house, their mortgages, their stayings, systems, their living life, living standard should not be affected at all. And for that reason, they are supposed to be the fighter every second moment. And they know that this is going to happen, or they don't know whether this is going to happen, but they have to have the other alternative ready, or to be ready within a very short span of a time to come out of a depressive condition. And instead of putting yourself into depression, yes, it's a shock. I've come up with so many people who are losing their jobs, and they have gone up to such a great depression, but they don't need any tablets, no pharmac. It is the mental power. And now in this country, it's going to be the very, very, very big blow because of this. It's not here, it's a whole Europe. They are facing this. So remember, everyone who are aging, they also should understand that the young generation are going to have this as a challenge in their life. And with these challenges, they're living. The old generation, they can get on with cutting down their desire, the things. The children, they can cut down the nonsense, unwanted desire things and carry on with the life. Like remember in COVID for 2 years, when you all weren't getting anything, how you all must be living. Whatever we had, we were living it. Oh, today the bread cost has gone this, and we are going to get only bread because there is a government is giving this much money as a, our pension or whatever, and we are having this. So please, we have to get on our life in this. So remember, the same situation has come, and instead of nagging, you can carry on. This is like a challenges that any time, this is called as an economical depression due to economical crisis. And you have to get on with that, and they need the support. The depression in adult is not just like that. Secondly, a women who are getting pregnant, they also have got the depression. That is a total different subject, which I'm going to give it to you as a separate lecture for a ladies. That's called as the pregnancy and depression. I'm going to give you a complete separate sessions on this because that is a very big part. But over and above in a young generation, and they are bound to fall into a lot of bad habits. The young generation has got that kind of a brain which is going to fall into a lot of bad habits, bad circles, bad surroundings, and all that. At that time, we make sure that they can be brought out very easily from that. That is a time taking, that is a long term depression. And certain depression, which is off and on, keep on coming and going, coming and going. And that depression is not treatable. They need medications, they need to be brought out. And for that, make sure you try to bring your children right. This is from the childhood, the parental care and that upbringing and the medications support, everything will bring them to reach to the stage that they cannot be brought out of it, but they were made to live within that situations and surroundings. Like as I said about bipolar, which is a genetics, which is coming from the parents to the children. Many times there are certain depressions which are like you can call the childhood certain kind of the diseases, anxiety conditions, which are bringing them and keep on carrying forward and forward in their life till they go young and suddenly automatically they go away. But if they have to take the medications, this is called as the long term. And this depression, we have to understand it is not that easy. Some are moderate, as I said, substance abuses are the moderate, which is very, it takes a time. You know, you need to go through a long treatment. Don't get excited. Oh, I've come up and a doctor has gone and then I can get it, can get away with it. No, because why you face this? It is your habits. And these habits, unless and until you leave, don't expect to have a child. You are punishing your child unnecessarily, who is coming and giving a birth and who is going to get a new life in this world. So, with these bad habits, don't try to think about it. And that is the reason I would rather put into it that these are the long term, but more so to say moderately, but they can be avoided. They can be rehabilitated. They can be treated. These kind of a depression are treatable and you can be completely out. Maybe for a short span, take some tablets or take some treatment and come out with a healthy diet, with so many things. So, certain things which are there, I'm going to take one after the other depressions. This is like a substance abuse. That is one, which is, and you have fallen into a wrong companies, these, that, all that we can bring it out. And the lastly, what we can do is this, which is transferred from the parents to the children, and it has come up as the disorder. That is very, very difficult that we can get away. But yes, there are so many ways. Parents don't have to worry for them because you know that this is the situation and these are the things come up, like a bipolar depression or a unipolar depression or a maniac conditions, and then with the depression is attached with, or you are genetically trouble, or you are disabled and you have got the depression due to your disability, and that is disability has come up from that, or you have got some kind of a genetic disorder and you are coming up with a depression. That is a biological depression, which is long term, and that can be treatable, but with the medications, and you can't get away with it. So I will take all of those. These are the symptoms, and these how they are coming up. As I said last time when I was taking a old age, that old age is a totally different. It's a total stage of the life. In your life, this is one. At the same time, the young generation is one who is facing this kind of a situation again, again, and again. And this generation is a link between the old and children. Make sure what you are and what you are at that age of a young. What do you call a young age as? You know why we celebrate 21? 21 is the age where you are putting your footstep into a young man or a young woman. You are coming out of your teen when you are completing 20. 20 is the age which is the link between the man and a woman. 19, you are completing your teenage. 20 is a building up. And 21, you're celebrating that, yes, this is my 21st birthday. I'm a man now. I've completed that. I've completed the teen, finished with the teen, completed the bridge between a man and a woman, or a young man and a young woman, and I'm coming up to that. So that is the age where you call as the 21st birthday. Why we are celebrating 18? Because you are coming up into the adult, and 18 is a birthday where your most of the teen is completed, and now you are getting into adult. You are getting adult. Adult is a place where you are mature, you're fully understanding mature person. That 18, 19, and 20, These 3 years are such where a person, man or a woman, they build themselves from adult to a complete young man and a woman. And then they acquire all those stability of the hormones, puberty, these, that, etc., etc., and then they become mentally, physically, completely young fighter with the world. At that age is such an important age. These young generation, they are capable to do anything, and that is a very enthusiastic age. So that is a link. But whatever you have gone through from age 1 to 20 and further it down, what you will go through at that age of a young, it will reflect your old age. So make sure you are now a young man and a woman. Oh, fine, I'm a handsome young and woman. But no, that handsomeness, how you are going to tackle, how you are going to move forward, very well, enjoyably, in a normal way. That is going to reflect your old age as well, because your old age is there. You're going to face that age, and you need to enjoy every event of the life, every part of the life, and you have to face the life. So you as a young generation, the old people, they have to give these kind of a silent training, silent talk, and silent understanding. It's like, a canvassing, or you can say counseling, or whatever you can say, understanding to the younger generation that this is it. But never be dominative. What you were, you've done. You've done that life. But you learn what you have done right and learn what you have done wrong. That unless and until you will not realize, you won't be able to tell anything to the generation which is coming up in your life. So in your family also, these are the things and these are the generations which you must be having it. And at that time, you must tell them, you must talk to them in a better way. Because this generation is not complete. They are going to face a lot of diversities. And talk with the stories, talk sometime with the shows, talk sometime in a fun. And this talking, the family integration, if you missed it, start building it up. Time is not going away. Or if your grandchildren are there, tell your children that, look, we have done. Realize your mistakes. Mistakes makes you a perfect person. And if you realize your mistakes, then only you are better. And then only you can make the family better. Secondly, it's like a youth. Depressive conditions. So you are bringing them out of the depression, or you are trying to make your family. So this, my lecture today for a youth, is not only for the young generation. It is, and it will come up in a very vigorous way with the young generation, because now this is the only thing that they need, and they can come out. Because I'm wherever, I tell you, during Christmas, I'd been to London. I've seen out of that, every out of 10, if you ask every 6 people, I'm depressed, I'm stressed, I'm this. Wherever you go, wherever I come across with, in a city, in a town, even you go away from the country, oh, I'm depressed, I'm stressed. It's pressurized. This, I'm like rushy. I'm rushy. I'm always rushy. No, these are the situations where this young generation, if they have this, what about the future? And there are a lot of things that you have to look into it, and you have to change it and see, guide them, be their friend. So that's the reason I had to give this lecture today. Anyway, I would like to give some vacuum to the questionnaire as well today. If you have got any of the questionnaire, And I'm going to continue further with the young depression, with the different situations. So basically, their wrong habits formations, their socials and surroundings situations, and the job and economical situations, because that is there, and how they can face and what symptoms will they show, how they will go easily, how they are trapped easily. That is very important. And how can you bring them out? That is there. So one thing I will take, like if I'm taking a social, then how can you bring them out? Which is very important. If they are trapped with the wrong habits, how they are trapped and how can you bring them out? Or how to rehabilitate, how to put them, instead of, oh, he's this and that, and no, you can bring them out. You are the family. Understand. And that is where I'm going to come up with this. So that young generation, now it's economical. They and these young generations are always been trapped with this depression. And how they are easily trapped and how can you bring them out? And that I'm going to take in my next lecture. And afterwards, I will take a complete session on the young biological, where the bipolarism, disabilities, all that, which will come and how you are put. So once when I finish with these kind of things, I will take the long term, but the inheritant. How you fall into inheritant depression, how you fall into that, that all I will take it. That is the inheritant part. Okay. So let this session may go for a young generation, a little couple of two, three sessions may go. But for you guys to know this is very important. Anyway, now I would like to ask anybody any questions, anything that they have. I would like to welcome every one of you to come up with the sessions because this is so important. Anyone has got any sessions or any questions for me, please? Any problems that you have that is going to affect your personal life, family life, or anything? Because it is not just this one thing. You are getting a lot of things in a depression. To say I'm depressed, to say I'm stressed, to say I have got this is easy. But to come up and to bring the things better is very important. And make sure the family value is very, very, very important case. What you have done and what this is. Everyone, every house you go, they have a complaint. But it is think yourself, you have gone through this, and if you don't accept it, it will not come up. So I would like these our older generation who are facing about the menopausal types or menopausal seasons. They are the best experienced people of that kind and tackle every issue as a calm and a cool manner. Give a space. I would like any of you, any questions? If you have got any questions, you can ask me privately as well. I'm there because I'm sure there were a few people who had their own trouble and they were having the trouble with the children, they were having a trouble with the job, they were having a trouble with them. They came to me and I've guided them. I would like any one of you have got it. You can just write it down and there for you and just take my time because I will give you time and I'll definitely get back to you guys. So is there anything that I can put them into the questionnaire or any of the suggestions today or no suggestions and you can put them, or do you want to say any silently once when the recording is stopped? So I can request Dr. Neha to stop the recording. I hope that would be better.